Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome. Great to see you again.
Aloha. I'm Scott.
And I'm Brenda.
And on this video, we're going to talk about 21 tips and common made mistakes by first-time travelers to Hawaii and return travelers.
Because who doesn't like to go back to Hawaii?
Now, a little bit about Hawaii. Although it is our 50th state, it sometimes feels like you're in another country. For the most part, Hawaii is very rural.
Each island has its own distinct personality.
Okay, so let's get on. Number 1.
While these are in no particular order, we wanted to focus number 1 as don't overpack. The temptation is to take all this really cool stuff, but you really don't need a lot. Scott, what should the guys bring?
Guys, couple of bathing suits, couple of casual shirts. You basically can roll up a pair of chonies and put them in your pocket and you'll be just fine.
Guys, gotta love them. Ladies, again, you're probably going to want 2 bathing suits because, you're going to be out there on the beach in the water, and who wants to wear a wet bathing suit the next day? So, have something nice to dry on. Otherwise, nice shorts, casual shirt, go with the flow.
Also, if you overpack all this new Hawaiian swag you just bought, you're not going to be able to fit it.
Now you don't want to leave it behind.
But if you should overpack, okay, what would you do, Brenda?
I would go out and buy a new suitcase. They have Walmart's there, Costco's at reasonable prices. That way I get to bring it all home.
And sometimes purchasing a suitcase at Walmart is cheaper than flying a suitcase over here with you half empty.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And that way maybe you can do some more shopping too, more stuff to bring home. All right.
Number 2.
Number 2 is you want to bring snacks with you. Pre-packaged things like beef jerky, maybe small little bags of chips, granola bars.
You can bring them from the mainland, but there is a no-no. And what that is bringing fruits and vegetables from the mainland. Department of Ag is not going to let you get off the airplane with them.
No.
In Hawaii. No. Not going to happen.
You can buy and eat all you want once you're there, but you got to leave the stuff at home.
Also, plenty of water when you're there.
Yes.
You can buy it there in Hawaii, and that way, throughout the day, you'll find yourself rather dehydrated, but bring plenty of water with you. And you could even throw a bottle or 2 in the refrigerator that you've gotten with your accommodation.
Absolutely. For number 3, do not book yourself solid. Leave some flexibility.
Yeah. What we mean by this is we see this a lot. People are running around back-to-back tours, and they've scheduled themselves so tight that there's so much cool stuff to see in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
There is. And also, when you book yourself so tight, okay, things like weather delays, or there could be a bunch of different reasons. You don't have the time to see it all.
Just spread yourself out a little bit so that you can enjoy everything that you want to enjoy. Which leads us to number 4.
Well, choosing your tours. This is a big one, okay? A lot of times, you may want to take a boat tour or a helicopter tour or a hiking tour or a kayaking tour.
Or all of the above.
Or all of them. There's some great tours out there that these locals have that don't exactly come to the top of the list.
Right.
The reason is they're not a corporation, so they don't put the kind of money to advertise their tours. So when you're doing your search for your tours, number 1 isn't always exactly number 1. Don't be afraid to scroll down that page and look, or pick up the phone and call them and see if they're a local business. You'll find that when weather delays come in, they'll work with you a lot better than some of these other companies that are booked solid.
It's also really important to try to make sure that whatever it is you really want to do, your favorite thing, book it early in your trip. Make sure that it's one of the first few days, so you make sure and get it in case there are some of those delays Scott was just talking about.
One other thing I would like to throw in about booking your tours is try to find the local businesses.
Yes.
Don't be afraid, like I said, to pick up the phone and find out if they're a local or a mainland-owned business. Now, due to a cancellation or maybe you overbook yourself, some of these mainland companies are very hard to get your money back from them. You find it, we had it only happen once, and it was a mainland company. Nothing to do with the Hawaiian companies, and I want to be clear about that.
Yeah.
You're finding yourself fighting your credit card a month and a half, 2 months later to get your money back from this tour that you prepaid for.
And you got the poor locals on your side fighting with the mainland company on your behalf, trying to make it happen. And they were, I think, as much or more frustrated as we were.
Yeah. And also with these tours, this is something else I'd like to add in, is when you're taking your boat tours, okay, there's different types of boats. They have the Zodiac, which is more of a military boat. And then they have the Catamaran, which is the big boat. Okay. The Zodiac is a much more bumpier ride. It's basically an inflatable raft.
Oh, yeah.
But it can go in and out of CKs and get you up close.
Beautiful shots.
The Catamaran, on the other hand, has that more comfortable ride to it. And you're going to be seeing it from a little bit more of a distance. To us, it's a coin toss. Would you say?
We've done both and thoroughly enjoyed both. So it depends on what you're looking for.
Absolutely. Okay.
So that kind of leads us into number 5 when, Scott was talking about earlier cancellations. Confirm the cancellation policies for your hotel, for your tours, for rental cars, for anything that you're going to do. Just make sure you know what kind of wiggle room you've got in case you do overbook yourself. Might need to let something go.
Okay. Number 6.
Number 6 kind of goes along with your cancellations and your confirmations. Print them out before you leave home. Print your reservations, print the policies. Have yourself a nice, neat little folder to where you've got everything in, because when you get to an area, you may not have any internet service. So this way you have a hard copy of something to check for addresses, to check for anything, and to show somebody that, hey, I've got this booked or I've already paid for it.
Good point.
How about number 7?
Rental cars. I'll let you handle this one, Fred.
Okay. Again, as Scott mentioned earlier, some of these islands are very rural. So you're probably going to want a rental car so you can get around. I mean, they do have different things like Uber or Lyft on the different ones, but rental car gives you so much freedom. And the earlier you book your rental car, a lot of times you get a cheaper rate. Again, check their policies for age restrictions, credit cards.
Now, for our young viewers, don't be disappointed. If generally, I believe it's 24, 25, and they won't rent you a car, or if you don't even have a credit card, keep calling around to the companies. There's a match out there for you.
And they are still reputable companies. It's just, check them out. How about number 8, Scott? This is right up your road. Here.
Road trip islands versus small islands. And what I'm going to say by that, or how I'm going to explain this, is you have your smaller islands like Kauai. And you have your larger islands like Hawaii, which is better known as the Big Island. Now in Kauai, you generally can get one place in the center, and probably within a half hour each direction, you can go from bottom to top or east to west. On an island like Hawaii or even Maui or so, you start out and you try to go to the other side of the island. Now, you may see your directions tells you it's 2 hours, and here you are 4.5 hours later pulling up there. The one thing about the Big Island is that you go ahead and you spend your whole day out snorkeling or hiking and seeing waterfalls, or up seeing the volcano, or up seeing the biggest mountain in the world. And at the end of the day, you've got this drive back. That's 3 hours. Now, Hawaii is very dark and has some very windy roads.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Except for probably around Honolulu, you're not going to see much in interstates. Okay, we're talking back 2-lane roads. And it's a real drag at the end of the day when you got to drive 3 hours back through the dark. Yeah. So what we recommend is called splitting up your accommodations. For example, we would start in Hilo, and then, we'd have a couple of nights in Hilo and a couple of nights over on the Kona side of the island. And that gave us the freedom to kind of, go back and forth to whatever attractions or what we wanted to see.
Right.
Another thing to be aware of, though, there is a gray area in there. Okay, and this has got to be said, is that there is such thing as petty theft. Okay, so be aware of it. Sometimes these hotels, if you go up to the hotel, they'll be glad to keep your bags for you.
Yes.
Until you check in, because we find out that most of these hotels and stuff don't want to check you in until 3-4 o'clock.
Right.
But you can leave your bags there and just go out and do your snorkeling or go to the cool beaches or whatever you want. So that's another one. Something else I would like to throw in there, though. Okay, now this is kind of a secret. You didn't really hear this on Travis Family Travels. There is certain guidebooks out there, and there is certain apps that reveal some of these great spots to go see. Okay, and you can either download them or you can just look through the books and they'll tell you. One tip about it is don't go waving them around in front of the locals. Okay, this is not something they are like jumping for joy with, because you've got the book of all their secret local spots. Okay, well, enough said with that.
Also,
you got
just
the
use
hint.
common sense with them. But, going on to our next tip, number 9, which kind of falls right in with what Scott was just talking about. While you're on these roads areas, make sure you have plenty of gas, because these cars don't run on faith.
Yeah, you might find yourself in some areas where there's no fuel stations around. So
Or it's ridiculously expensive.
Right. You'll find that the fuel prices aren't that ridiculous in Hawaii. When you're in the towns or the bigger towns and stuff like that, fill her up right then and there.
Just make sure you're covered. Okay, and then on number 10, which still kind of goes with the same thing, is Scott likes to pull up a road map of the islands.
I do. I like to, before we even step foot on the plane going over to the islands, I like to physically see the island that I am going to, its road system, how it works, so that when I stepped off the plane for the first time, I remember, and I got handed this map, I was like, yeah. And I actually get so obsessive about it. Is what I'll do is I'll go on to Google Earth satellite and take my whole entire tour. And that way I actually see some landmarks in there, and I've seen some rivers or something like that. So that when I get there, I'm prepared to have an idea of where I'm at.
So that takes us to number 11, and that's have plenty of sunscreen. Hats, protect yourself. Sunglasses, but make sure it's Reef safe sunscreen. Okay? Hawaii is very protective of their reefs, as they should be. In fact, we all should be. So yeah, make sure you're using the stuff that's reef safe. And if you're on an excursion and you don't have any, trust me, they do. So they will make sure that you're covered up in your sunscreen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then number 12 is going to be, this kind of refers back to the first one when we're talking about what to pack and what not to pack. You don't need a lot of shoes in Hawaii, but one thing you really do need is some water shoes, some flip-flop type, what are they call them? Slippers.
Yeah, you see most people wearing them there. The reason for this is because Hawaii has lava rock everywhere, volcanic rock everywhere. So it's very sharp. So water shoes or something like that is always good to keep on you. Or basically wear the whole time you're there.
Pretty much. So you don't need to take in a lot of shoes.
Yeah.
Okay, how about number 13?
Getting in over your head in the ocean. That's a big one.
Oh, yeah.
One thing, being from Florida, I've seen it quite a bit of it, is people may be a great swimmer in their swimming pools or in their lakes, or maybe you've been up and down some of these beautiful East Coast beaches and out in the ocean, or even on some of the West Coast, in California and stuff. Hawaii has a very strong current to it, okay? That I just wanted to let you know and be aware of is you can find yourself getting, pulled out really easy, and or getting thrown into, a lava rock or a volcanic rock jetty, and so just always be aware of that. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to walk up and ask the lifeguard there, where's the best place for, what's the hazards to worry about for my family swimming here? Now, on that note, the lifeguards are not allowed to hold conversation with you. All right? That's just an oath they've taken. All right.
So number 15, make sure you have plenty of cash with you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know he'd mentioned something about theft, but you know how to be smart with your cash. So sometimes when you're out in these areas, again, there's not internet service, so people can't take your credit card or your debit card. So you want to have cash to flip out to them, because you don't want to lose a cool souvenir purchase. I mean, come on.
Right. A lot of the local vendors deal in cash and cash only.
Right. So what else do we need cash for? Which would be tip number 15. Sorry.
Gratuities. Okay. First off, Hawaii doesn't exactly pay that well, okay? But your tour guides, your hotels, your airport shuttles, curb service and stuff like that, though, don't forget to take care of these people. Like I said, Hawaii does not pay that well, and they have a very high cost of living there.
We all know what a little extra cash does for any of us. So.
Mm-hmm.
Number 16, be careful what you're trying to bring back from Hawaii. Scott has a lot of experience with that. You want to fill him in?
Yeah, the Department of Ag always just likes to have a conversation with me. Yeah. If you're buying like any kind of fruits that, or pineapples or whatever that's basically boxed and you purchased, you're not going to have a problem with that. It's when you start to, and when it comes to coconuts and stuff that you pick up and find on the side of the road. See, some of the islands have what's called rat lung, and that's one of the things they're looking for. Another thing that we know is that, like in Kauai, we found this beautiful red dirt we can bring home and use for some of our art projects.
It was so pretty.
That's a no-no because it has some kind of parasite that they do not want on the mainland, but as far as I was given this right over here from the island of Ni'iau, and of course that's the one thing they're going to pull you right in for, is just be honest with them. You're allowed to take your sand and your shells and neat finds like that, just never, of course, break off a piece of coral.
Right, they're not unreasonable. They know you want to bring back things, but they also want to protect both Hawaii and wherever else you're returning home to. So
that's right.
So speaking of bringing home, we're going to go to number 17, which is souvenirs. And we have another little secret for you. Go to Walmart for, the friends, the family, the coworkers, the stuff that they have some really cool areas and some really neat souvenirs that don't cost you an arm and a leg. They're very inexpensive and they're really cool. I mean, the stuff that you want to bring home, yeah, get it wherever you're at. But yeah, for everybody
brother-in-law's
else,
kids and stuff, yeah, they're getting Walmart from us.
But don't tell them. They don't have to know it came from Walmart, okay? And yes, they do have Walmart over there.
All right. So we are now
At number 18.
At number 18. All right, guys. Your friends, your family, your coworkers are going to secretly hate you.
Or maybe not so secretly.
for going to Hawaii. They may not come out and tell you always, but yes, they will.
Yeah, we get this kind of begrudgingly when we tell them we're going back. Oh, you're going back? Well, yeah, we're going back. Who doesn't want to bring? They're going to Hawaii.
That's right.
Don't let them get you down. You're going to have a great time, and you're going to bring back a souvenir from Walmart. Scott, fill him in on number 19, a very important tip.
This is called living aloha. Now, in Hawaii, this is something that is very real, okay? And what it basically means, living aloha, is that you live every breath and moment through happiness in your life. In other words, you come before me. So all your problems and all the hassles and attitudes of the mainland, leave it there. They don't tolerate it.
I mean, you may notice even when you call the islands for booking your trips or asking questions about it, they're so happy when they answer the phone, and they will spend as much time as you need on the phone. They will answer all your questions. They will just talk to you about whatever. Scott loves to talk to these people. But they don't rush you off the phone. It is so nice to talk to them. Or when you're there talking to them in person, they'll talk to you. It's so nice. It's so pleasant to not feel like you're rushed.
Right. We are at number 20 now. And we want to talk about this. Yeah. Number 20. Multi-island trips versus going to one island at a time and exploring it. We've talked to a lot of travelers and a lot of people, and some have been on these multi-island trips where you come in and you may go from Oahu down to the Big Island, Kauai, and Maui. But they all seem to say the same thing. They felt very rushed. There wasn't enough time there for them.
Even if it's only 2 islands, you're having to split up your trip.
Yeah, we recommend going to one island, take your time, explore it. Some of these islands you can't see even in 2 weeks' time.
No.
There's just so much to really see, and there also is another way to Hawaii. And I did have a friend tell me about this. Him and his big, beautiful family decided to take a boat from the mainland, or the west coast of California, over to Hawaii. Yeah. Took them 5 days. He says they weren't that good of a family when they got there.
There's so many places to go on a boat.
Yeah, and the scenery, according to him, doesn't change much. But enjoy. We hope you do.
Yeah.
There's one number 21's coming up right here, right now. All right? Our last tip for you. When you're in Hawaii, do not do this. Honk your horn.
No.
Second, insult spam. Hawaiians love spam. Okay? It went back over there in the 1940s. The military sent it over there. The Hawaiians got a hold of it, and they fell in love with the stuff. Don't insult spam.
If you like spam, great. You can have your fill of it. If you don't, just, kind of keep quiet about it. There's all things we don't like, so, just go with it.
Oh, no. I don't think we're saying I don't dislike spam.
No.
Well, we thank you very much.
We really appreciate your taking your time and sharing it with us. If you did enjoy what you saw, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that little notification bell so you'll be notified of future videos. Thank you so much.
Aloha and mahalo.
See you next time.